Why you keep holding on to relationships that should have ended 3 red flags ago. Why you're practically earning an honorary degree in emotional delusion. The tragically theatrical optimism of thinking your love will inspire the grand transformation. How utterly Shakespearean. Believing that with just enough patience, understanding, and character development, they'll finally become the person you fell in love with in your imagination. Tell me, have you performed this tragic little sonnet before? They just need me. Everyone has flaws, but we've been through so much together. Nothing says emotional delusion quite like romanticizing red flags in iambic pentameter. These are not declarations of love, they are your syllabus for your PhD in justifying red flags. A noble degree indeed, but tragically useless. A warm welcome to all. I'm Dylan Moore, author, cognitive behavior specialist, and devoted advocate for women's empowerment and men's emotional healing. In this discourse, let's unveil transformative strategies to restore your balance, reclaim your power, and anchor you in unshakable strength. Together, we'll unravel absurd social expectations that have trapped us in a labyrinth of self-imposed chaos, and expose the emotional nonsense we've been conditioned to accept as normal, all while dismantling toxic beliefs that gaslight us into self-doubt. Now, let's unpack why you stay when the exit door has been glowing for ages. If you keep justifying what should be disqualifying, please consider the following. You've confused potential with reality. A classic mix-up. You're in love with who they could be, not who they are. You've tied your worth to fixing them because if you can help them heal, then maybe you'll finally feel like you're enough. You fear starting over more than staying stuck. The devil you know, as they say, but love should not be a hostage negotiation. You think longevity equals value. 10 years of dysfunction does not make a masterpiece, it makes a pattern. You've normalized chaos. If inconsistency was your norm, calm feels suspicious. Cue the trauma bond front and center. Now, some clinical insight on trauma bonds and emotional rationalization. Therapeutically speaking, trauma bonds are often the result of deeply entrenched emotional attachment formed through intermittent reinforcement. In CBT, we call this emotional rationalization. Your mind finds elaborate excuses to keep you in proximity to what's familiar, even if it's harmful. You're not foolish, you're conditioned. And the more you invest it in, becomes harder to walk away because you've confused endurance with loyalty. Now let's examine the hidden cost of staying too long. If you're always explaining their behavior, who's explaining yours? If you're constantly proving your love, what are they proving in return? If your peace requires self-abandonment, is it truly peace or is it performance? If you're holding on to history, are you sacrificing your future? Staying out of obligation is not love. It's self-neglect dressed in devotion's clothing. Now, here's how to graduate from the school of red flags. Write a list of their actual behaviors, not their potential. Stop grading them on a curve, a large curve. Ask yourself, would you want this relationship for someone you love? If not, why accept it for yourself? Start tracking what it costs you to stay. Emotional debt is still debt. Learn to identify love that feels like safety, not suspense. Butterflies are cute, but peace is the real prize. Remind yourself, walking away isn't failure, it's emotional graduation. Why this works according to actual therapy, not love songs. In trauma-informed CBT, we target the distorted beliefs that keep us entangled with unsafe people. We challenge core assumptions like, I have to fix them to be worthy, or love means struggle. By reframing your narrative and choosing different actions, you interrupt the emotional loop that's kept you stuck. You're not just ending a relationship, you're reclaiming your nervous system. You're upgrading your standards from survival to serenity. And now a most delicious revelation. For those of you who've overstayed in the theatre of red flags, waiting for the plot twist that never came, here's your encore. You are not difficult to love. You were just case in the wrong production. And while that may be applaud your loyalty, let us be honest, loyalty without reciprocity is not romantic, it's simply tragic. So tell me, who are you finally ready to walk away from? And more importantly, what might you finally walk into? Drop a like or comment below, and let's normalize upgrading from emotionally unavailable co-stars to leading roles in your own lives. Together we rise, together we thrive. Let's rise fierce into a new life of personal power and freedom.